we're looking at homes, and we're looking at let me start with the exterior here. If you're trying to select colors with your clients, you really only need 2 colors, on the outside and on the inside. Now, this is not interior design. This is designed for real estate. So it's always about lower cost, lower effort, maximum impact. And so notice I've gone with a nice medium tone on all of my siding, and then all of the trim work, including the frieze board, the soffit, and the fascia, that whole eave. That whole unit can now be just one color if I go with a light color. If you go with a dark color underneath your soffit, it's going to cast a shadow all over the house. And so that seems to be the simplest formula. We've got all sorts of siding options happening. Not only is fiber cement, been a leader for a long time with that Hardy board, but now we've got something called smart siding that I know it's been around for a little while, but it's just really coming into vogue right now. It's a little bit more durable than fiber cement and a lot easier to cut, so you're going to start seeing it more readily available in all of these different styles, from board and batten to the horizontal lap siding to the scallop to the shakes and the shingles. We're adding a lot of texture to the exterior of homes, and if you go with a nice horizontal lap around most of it, maybe you've got some stone on the bottom half, some nice horizontal, and then we'll see something else happen up in the gables, like the shakes or the shingles, maybe the scallops if you want to get a little beachy and kind of light, down. Where's the bay people? That might be fun down there. We're seeing more metal roofs coming into vogue, and I know that. And so when you're seeing these metal roofs, I want you to know that's a Galvalume. Galvalume metal. It's so incredibly weather resistant. It's incredibly durable. It will last over. It's meant to last about 165 to 200 years, depending on the weather. It is, and if it's coated though, if it's silver, that's kind of the standard. If you get one of those cool colors, like this has got a cool color, just know it's going to cost about 3 times as much. So just keep that in mind when you're making your recommendations. I'm seeing more and more interesting dormers, and these are not the kind that sit on top, like the colonial dormers that sit up top. We're seeing this thing called wall dormers, where they intersect and come down the side like this. Reason being, we're trying to bring in more light, bigger windows, and if we do a wall dormer, I can cut down and bring in a much larger size. Let's look at the difference. There's 3 kinds of wall dormers. 3 kinds of dormers. You've got inset. So maybe I want to mostly sit on top of the roof. I don't want to interrupt that roof line, but I don't want it to be so pronounced, so colonial. Do inset. And then you've got a rooftop dormer, and then the wall. That wall dormer. So this is where we are at. Look at these beautiful wall dormers. Look at that, these huge black steel-cased windows. We've got colonial style up top with a 3, 6, 9. You just count those little squares, and that's a 9-light window, a 9/1. Okay? And so we've got these big steel-cased windows. Look down here, massive transoms, big glass windows, That's where we're at. We know that. In real estate, light is your money. Light is money, honey, in real estate. And in style, too. Everyone's becoming very in vogue to have bigger windows. It's a transitional state that we're in. Or to get more technical, we are in the neo-eclectic era of architecture. It's a very cool place to be. This is neo-eclectic, quintessentially neo-eclectic. It's going to be loaded up with all sorts of siding materials, multiple roof materials. Some people find it's a little too busy, but it's where we're at. It's what's going on in manufacturing and in design and architecture. Lots of different things happen. We've got metal, stucco, stone, composite shingles, shutters, louver vents, all sorts of stuff. It's kind of exciting, actually, I think. This is for you later. Oh, I scheduled a little post to come out on my Facebook page right after the luncheon, so it should be up there here after a little while. It'll actually be this presentation. And so if there's anything here that you want to come back to and reference, like this article right here on neo-eclectic architecture, it's the bomb. It's really going to lay out what's happening today in architecture. Why is it neo-eclectic? How are we experiencing an architectural revivalism? And how in the postmodern era, we're finding a balance between the modern and the traditional here in this state right here. It's transitional, right? I think it's quite lovely. Because it is an architectural revivalism, you're seeing things like this. This is why why you're seeing trusses. You know, trusses built on the outside, on the inside. We're seeing gorgeous cathedral or vaulted ceilings. You know it's a cathedral ceiling when the vaulting happens symmetrically, right up into the middle. It's cathedral. If it's off like this, if it's more of a slanted shed roof that then comes down this way like a salt box, that's going to be a vaulted ceiling. So that's how we know when it's different. We're also seeing more steel and more cool cables being incorporated both in stair steps and up in the ceiling. Now that definitely that's kind of a modern thought right there. Rustic exposed beams got to be one of the number one design trends we're seeing, and the majority of the time. We know they're hollow. They're real easy to apply. They're not even structural. They're just really good looking. We see them out on the outside. Check this out. We've got these stone pier and wooden columns coming up to this portico with a truss at the top. We've got some prairie-style windows, prairie over one. That's really in vogue right now, to put a style on top and then the one on the bottom. All right? We're seeing a lot of that. And if we are doing windows, most of your windows are not going to be the black steel case sexy windows. I love those, but they are also very expensive and something I would recommend only in a really high-end luxury property. Otherwise, I'm going to stick to my vinyl windows. And they are making them now in a charcoal color so we can look like the cool ones, right? We want to look like it. Beautiful windows, beautiful windows. Okay, on your front doors, blue is the best for selling. There's been a lot of research put into that. And blue's one of those nurturing colors. It's just, we're always trying to avoid anything that might be objectionable. That's always like my bare minimum goal, right? Is just to remove all the objections. And so blue is a very appealing color, but we're kind of actually moving into this sort of dustier blue with some green undertones. If you're watching HGTV magazines or if you're looking at Architectural Digest, you're seeing this on the front of doors. This right here was Behr's 2018 color of the year. It's similar to what we're seeing in this room. A little bit more green and just a hair more dusty gray undertone. Just go low sheen though, whatever you do. We want flat always on the ceiling, always flat. Sheen shows texture, and we don't want to see all that texture. I don't want to see any sort of seams on the ceiling. And then on the walls, I'm going flat on the walls and a low sheen semi-gloss on all the trim. So we're getting away from that semi-gloss off the high gloss. And my color, always on my strip. I don't care, just find your neutral strip. Uncannily, it is always this one. The number 2 down from the top is your wall color in real estate. It's light enough that if you need to paint the ceiling, you can almost always go walls and ceiling one color, like that, and then pop all your trim out in the other, okay? My favorite lately is Accessible Beige by Sherwin-Williams, Useful Gray by Sherwin-Williams, or Feathers of a Dove. You can absolutely paint walls and ceiling. That's a Valspar paint, Feathers of a Dove. Keep them warm. We pushed really hard and went to the cool because we were so sick and tired of the beige. So, we went really gray. And now we've come back and kind of found a nice little spot in grayish. You call it grayish. It's a real thing. It's grayish. And this is it. This is us. This is now. This is now. Lots of glass. Look at those beautiful painted cabinets. Lots of white. Are y'all seeing a common theme there with those metals? We're seeing lots of brushed brass. So my 3 go-to hardware is going to be brushed brass. That's hard to say. Brushed brass, brushed nickel, and then a matte black, something that looks like it's nice steel, like maybe an oil bronze, but it's going to be that black, if I'm going for the farmhouse, modern farmhouse, thank you, Chip and Joanna look, that we're all trying to match now. We'll get in some of that matte black. Let's see. Oh, I just got another minute here. These are some of my favorite cabinet colors. I use these. I posted these on also my real estate resources Pinterest page. Every time I'm doing classes and I find new resources, I just kind of pin them there so y'all can come back to them. I've got a great article here on countertops. 2, the eat-in kitchen island with a farmhouse sink. Just say that in your listing description and the phone will start ringing. Okay? It's true. There is a real thing called keywords. So here is, I'm going to leave you with this. This beautiful shot. This is very now. You know, we're bringing in as much white as we can. We want as much light as we can. FYI, your light bulbs need to be the LED bright white. That's what we sell. It's not how, I don't want it at home. It's not, you know, the way we live and the way we sell, we know are completely different. So bright white, get in some grayish subway tile, mix in a lighter granite. You're going to get that look. There's a few more slides on this and some articles on this, so I want y'all to feel free at your leisure to really look at it or use it as reference if you need or want. Otherwise, I just thank you and appreciate your time. Thanks so much for letting me come and share with you. Thank you.
Oh, let's give her another round of applause.
Looks like I do, and I can just talk for hours.